Hi, it's Officer Potak here.
Hi, it's Officer Best, and happy 4th of July to all of you.
Happy 4th of July.
As you see, we're on location again at the George Taylor House. And George Taylor was one of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence. So we figured, what better place to read for the 4th of July than at a guy's house who signed it.
Absolutely.
So before we read some of our books, let me just give you a little bit of background on the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was just that. It was a declaration by the Second Continental Congress, who met in Philadelphia at Independence Hall, and that was their message to the British to say, hey, we're done. We want to be separate. We want to be our own colonies. Of course, the British didn't see humor with that, and as a result, it opened a can of worms that developed into the Revolutionary War. And once the British were defeated, we then established our independence. So that's a brief, Officer Best explanation of the Declaration of Independence. So, having said that, today's first book is going to be The Night Before the 4th of July. Let me sit up and hopefully I don't fall over. We're kind of on a hill here. 'Twas the night before July 4th, and all across the USA, Americans were gearing up for Independence Day. Mom tied up the bunting while I gave Dad a hand. We hung up the flag from our porch stand. That night we both slept sprawled out in our beds, with visions of fireworks popped in our heads. The next morning, we dressed up in red, white, and blue. I even wore stars, one on each shoe. We lined up on Main Street. Look, here come the parade floats. Hooray for the marching band and the 4-H club goats. The mayor tossed candy. I shouted, "Hear, hear." And Uncle Sam, walking on stilts, brought up the rear. Friends and family came over for a backyard barbecue. Dad fired up the grill as a storm started to brew. Well, of course it did. The goodies were set on the picnic table with care. Get 'em while they're hot, hollered Dad, flipping burgers in the air.
Isn't that how it works? You go to cook on the grill and it starts downpouring?
Or you go to cook on the grill and flip one in the air and it does not land back on the grill.
Or you go to cook on the grill and you're halfway through and your propane runs out? Yep, we all have those problems.
But just when we sat down, it started to pour. Grab the food, shouted Mom. And we raced through the door in hot dogs and salads and blueberry pie and melon and corn. Keep those potato chips dry. Of course, there's no cake. We gathered in the kitchen and spilled into the hall. Squeeze in, said Mom. There's room for us all. As we munched on our food, Grandma turned to Grandpa. There'll be no fireworks show if this rain doesn't stop. What? We all shouted. No rockets, red glare? 4th of July without fireworks? That's totally not fair. When what to our wondering eyes should appear, with the rain suddenly stopping, The sky was now clear. We piled in the car and drove to the park. We threw down a blanket as it began to grow dark. Dad lit the sparklers. We drew circles in the air. We snapped glow sticks on our wrists and glow halos in our hair. The first firework was launched, high into the night. It bloomed like a flower, exploding with light. Whiz, crack, boom! Woo! Cheered the crowd. But my brother covered his ears and whimpered, "That's a way too loud." The band played the national anthem. Dad sang, "Oh, say, can you see?" That's when I covered my ears because he sang out of key. And now the grand finale. Wow, the best I'd seen yet. A sky filled with color. A show I'll never forget. When the last firework fizzled like a fairy dust in the sky, we all cheered and shouted, "Happy 4th of July!"
I like that.
Yeah, me too. I like 4th of July.
Yes,
I
do
like
too.
fireworks. You like
I
fireworks?
love them. I
Yep.
love them. Something we want to remind you about with fireworks, they are dangerous. So do not light them yourself. Let your parents handle that. And in Catasauqua, you cannot set off any aerial fireworks, which is anything that shoots from the ground into the sky, unless you're 150 foot from a structure. So I'm not sure if there's anywhere in Catasauqua that you can set off fireworks that shoot in the air, so just keep that in mind. There are a lot of houses close near. You don't want an accident to happen. And just be very safe on the 4th of July.
And know this, that if you do set off fireworks, guaranteed, we're going to get a call.
We
And we're
are.
going to end up having to show up and deal with it. So,
Right.
having said that, please be mindful that aerial fireworks, anything that goes up in the air, anything that makes a loud bang, we're going to get called about it.
And just be mindful, there are people that are sensitive to noises, and there's a lot of animals that are very sensitive to fireworks. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're enjoying your holiday.
Exactly.
And we have more books to come, so if you'd like to hold on, we'll read another one.